Hello, Archie Dunlop here with Talking Astrology with Archie, and I'm recording this video on October the 2nd in the afternoon, October the 2nd, 2024, and it relates to the vice presidential debate. So I just did a video in which I talked about the vice presidential debate, but I got the wrong time. I said it was at 6 p.m. New York time rather than 9 p.m. I don't know how I managed to do that. I'm really obsessed about accuracy of time. So I'm completely embarrassed about this. So I feel I just need to put up another video just to correct my mistake and put up this video as soon as possible. So I want to have another look at this chart for the beginning of the vice presidential debate, but this time I want to use the correct time. And having looked at the correct time, I do think that it's really interesting because it does say quite a lot about JD Vance's North Node, and that is my focus. I'm not really particularly interested right now in Tim Waltz's chart. And of course, as we do know, having we've been looking at the reports, it does seem that JD Vance did win this debate. So let's start off by looking at the new chart of the debate, the correct chart of the debate, and what I find to be interesting about it. So here we have it, October the 1st, 2024, 9 p.m. in New York. And so you can see that 3 degrees Gemini is rising, and the moon is at 1 degree 19 Libra. So the moon has just creeped into Libra. So, the old chart I'd looked at where I got the wrong time, I thought it was the moon was void of course in Libra, void of course in Virgo, which is, of course, incorrect. And I made the wrong assumptions about the moon being void of course. The moon is certainly not void of course. It's just entered the sign. And it's moving towards a conjunction of the South Node. So that 3 degrees Gemini is important because we've got Gemini rising. We've got Jupiter in the first house. Now, there is a view that Jupiter has a natural affinity with the Republican Party. I think it was Barbara Waters, Horary Astrology and Judgment of Events. She said that Jupiter rules the Republicans and Saturn rules the Democrats. So we do have Jupiter in the first house. I mean, Jupiter doesn't have much dignity. In fact, it doesn't have any dignity in the first house. But it's still Jupiter, and it is there. And perhaps that's telling us something about the debate. But in terms of JD Vance, here is JD Vance's horoscope and what I find interesting about JD Vance. JD Vance's North Node is at 4 degrees, 10 degrees Gemini. Now, if we use the Placidus house system, that means he's got the North Node in the 10th house. And if you take the view that the 10th house represents the direction one should be going, what is the right thing for someone to be doing, then if you've got the North Node in the 10th house, that means that being successful, having high prominence is the right direction for him. South Node in Sagittarius in the 4th perhaps would represent the line of least resistance, staying at home, staying within his locality, but not for JD Vance, North Node in Gemini in the 10th. So aspiring to be vice president or aspiring to be president is very much something that he should be doing and is appropriate for him. Now, North Node in Gemini. Now, you could say North Node in Gemini might be arguing, talking, I suppose, legal arguments, you could say, and I think he's already he has already written a book. So you could say in many respects his North Node in Gemini is working very well. And in terms of the debate, he was really being North Node in Gemini, being able to sort of duck and dive and being able to confront the journalists who were running the debate and the presenters who were running this debate, and being able to sort of perhaps confront their bias. So that's certainly working. But with this North Node, it's at 4 degrees Gemini. So what is the big deal about 4 degrees Gemini? Well, there is a view that the North Node is exalted in Gemini. So, for example, looking at William Lilly's Christian Astrology, he has a table of the exaltations and critical degrees and degrees of maximum exaltation. And William Lilly says that the degree of exaltation for the North Node is 3 degrees Gemini. So if you've got North Node at 4 degrees 10 Gemini, it is very close to the Western, at least in terms of Western astrology, to the point of maximum exaltation. I mean, I suppose the concept of maximum exaltation, that's kind of borrowed from Vedic astrology. But his North Node is really very, very strong, I would have said. And I do think that we can see it manifesting. Now, going back to the chart of the debate, so here is the VP debate, and we had 3 degrees 23 Gemini rising. So the rising degree was within less than 1 degree of JD Vance's North Node. So I would have said that this debate was really his debate, and it was very much about what he was supposed to be doing. It was about his destiny, and I do think that this does perhaps bode very well for him, the fact that he does have 3 degrees Gemini on the ascendant. Okay, he may or may not win the election, but I think we can see that it was a timing that was just perfect for him, and it was perfect for him to express who he was and for him to express his fundamental destiny. And that's it. That's all I've got to say. Really sorry if you watched my previous video and looked at my analysis of the debate, and I'd got the wrong time, but here is the right time. And I thought I'd just mention the fact that we do have this incredible lineup between the ascendant of the debate and the North Node of JD Vance. So thank you very much for watching, and I will talk to you again very soon.